We now have, he's not on social media. Well, he's a former kind of spook, so of course he's not on social media. Chris Farrell of Judicial Watch. Follow his company, Judicial Watch's NGO, not for profit, at Judicial Watch, and his boss, Tom Fitton. You've got big news you've been telling me. The first things first, for the record, everybody out there, if you're retired or you're a billionaire and you've got, you're sitting on piles of cash, can you just support some organizations for the name of this republic, okay? If you care about the future, then please support the Heritage Foundation, the mothership of conservatism, the NRA that's fighting for your Second Amendment rights, then Turning Point USA that is taking the political war, the culture war, to the campuses of our colleges, pushing back on political correctness, and then Judicial Watch, which is doing the work that the media should be doing and is getting to the truth and deposing people who know about cover-ups. Specifically in this case, what I've just retweeted at Seb Gorka, is this incredible story from the State Department. So tell us about what you found, who you've interviewed, and specifically what Hillary Clinton and John Hackett, what their involvement is in this story.
Great to be with you, Seb. This is big stuff because we have John Hackett, who's a former State Department official. He was the guy in charge of what they call the Directorate of Information Programs and Services, which is a very governmental way of saying all the records, all the FOIA-related stuff. He's a guy who went...
The Freedom of Information applications, all that.
Yeah, among others, but in particular FOIA, because we had asked, this goes all the way back to Benghazi, we will never let go of Benghazi, because that story has not ever really fully been told, but nonetheless. So this is the guy at State Department who is responsible for processing and handling all these records and turning them over. We deposed him, meaning one of our attorneys, actually two of our attorneys, sat down and under oath asked him questions.
Because you found, let's just step back, you found a couple of judges who actually care about the truth.
Right.
And are giving you the right or giving you the permission to depose people.
And the State Department and the Justice Department's behavior and conduct in court has been so outrageous and
just
so
arrogant,
so
egregious,
transparently false in how they've made representations to the judges that they got really pissed off. And they said, you know what? We're not just going to do this on paper. You're going to get government officials under oath and make them swear to it. And you can ask whatever questions you want.
So you're not just getting answers to questions
this
in
is
an
not
email.
A paper drill.
This is human beings being sworn, and you get to ask them questions.
And then
under penalty of perjury, right?
Correct. And then the depositions themselves, the transcripts, we post on our website. So everybody can read what went on.
Okay, so what have you found so far, Chris Farrell?
This is outrageous. Mr. Hackett was interviewed in a deposition under oath. And he said, look, I warned Hillary Clinton, her staff, the Deputy Secretary of State, a cast of characters. I warned them about what they were doing with records. He had knowledge that they were trying to destroy more than 30,000 emails. And he said, what is your practice? What's your program? How are you arriving at this decision? What's the guidance?
Hang on. Let's stop there for a second.
Yeah.
So the State Department was cognizant.
Correct.
That Hillary was deleting tens of they actually knew she was doing that.
They had foreknowledge. They knew that she was
before she did it.
Correct. They knew that she
under subpoena.
She was running her own server outside
in
of
contravention of the information regulations.
Completely unlawful.
Right.
They knew that she was using a BlackBerry. In fact, he said, Mr. Hackett said under oath, I saw a clip on the television of her using a BlackBerry on a flight.
There's a famous photograph that everybody uses.
Correct. Right. And that he goes, what's with the BlackBerry? I mean, it alarmed him. This guy was actually trying to do his job. He's trying to be a good civil servant.
Right.
And he was freaked out by it and said, what are we doing with this set of records? Who's looking at them? He was astounded by it. And he repeatedly warned the entire chain of command of what was going on. He was alarmed at their destruction of emails. He knew that there was another attorney involved who was essentially the cover-up artist for all of this.
Inside DOS, inside
correct.
State or outside?
Inside State. In fact, the person was actually working in the Office of Legislative Affairs. And so, again, the actual deposition...
So this is cover-up upon cover-up.
Correct. This is guilty knowledge, foreknowledge, knowledge while it was going on, and then in the aftermath, this, what are we going to do to destroy and cover up and hide? It's utterly corrupt.
Let me ask you, clearly you've made the argument that you have standing as Judicial Watch. The judge has given you the right or the permission to depose people under oath. To what end? You can, I mean, you're posting, it's on my timeline now on Twitter, you're posting all the interviews from these depositions. What are you going to get at the end? Is somebody going to pay a penalty, Chris Farrell?
Yeah, I mean,
because this is the question I get asked everywhere I go. Who's going to pay a penalty legally?
Yeah, our civil discovery process is on unearthing evidence and documentation that the Attorney General can use to bring a relook, really, which he should do, a criminal prosecution, 18 U.S.C. Section 793F, mishandling national defense information. That is the national security crime that I believe, based on my experience, Mrs. Clinton and
these are felonies, no?
Absolutely, 10 years and $10,000.
Is there a statute of limitations on these?
There is not.
Wow.
So this is and it's all still very, very ripe, very fresh, regardless of whatever claims. Oh, that was back in no. This is as legitimate today as it ever was. And then you have people like Catherine Duval, who's a State Department lawyer, who was coordinating the cover-up because Mr. Hackett, the guy who we deposed just the other day, he went to Duval and said, "Hey, are we talking to our other sister agencies in this record and document production?" Obviously, state's going to talk to who else, right? Defense, CIA, DIA, all the rest. And, we got that covered. Don't worry about it. We're taking care of it. And he goes, well, who have you talked to? Because I know my brother and sister agency heads, and we deal with them all the time because we make referrals back and forth.
Right.
Who are you talking to? And he said he got names he never heard of before. This is all part of the cover-up. All part of the cover-up.
So you do your job that nobody else is doing. You uncover all these things. You depose people under oath. You post the findings. And then what? And then theoretically, this information can be forwarded to or picked up by the AG, and then criminal referrals made, Chris Farrell?
Absolutely, because it's all now public record, right? These are court processes. This isn't just Judicial Watch going off on a tear. This is court-ordered discovery of government officials under oath on the record. It is evidence. It stands on its own. And so those persons within justice now, whether the name escapes me now, Mr. Durham, that's right.
Durham, right.
Mr. Durham or Attorney General Barr.
The Connecticut.
They're collecting this information. And
I presume you've got his email address.
I don't, but
somebody at Judicial Watch does.
I'm sure that they're watching very carefully the work that we're doing, because this is real evidence. This is stuff that can be used, and we're using the civil discovery process to uncover it.
Do you guys feel better? I sure feel better when I hear every time what Judicial Watch is doing, that they are deposing people under an oath who either were complicit in a cover-up with Hillary Clinton or who tried to stop it. That's news, and that's why we're here to push back and to let you know who's fighting the good fight. I'm Sebastian Gorka, back with Chris Farrell from Judicial Watch in a moment. And don't forget our number, 833-33-GORKA, 833-334-6752.